that you, Johnny? Were you doing that? Oh, I see. You've got it on your phone. I adore you. I thought it was this. I was mistaken. I thought it's so much more appropriate. Thank you. By the way, one of those sounds is actually from a human body, and it's not the one you think. So,
oh wait, there's also this one.
Oh no, that's good. Keep that one on the
I'm
ready.
gonna keep that on hand.
That's good. So, one of the things we were talking about is GOP small dollar donations, which is what they track on WinRed. There's a lovely chart. I'm showing it at infotainmentwars.com. Not, largely for the joy of my, our viewers and listeners, but also for the trolls who, this is going to make your stomach gurgle, kids. GOP's small dollar donations via WinRed are flat this year, while Democrats have increased substantially in the last 2 months on Act Blue. And this is, by the way, again, without the Republicans voting against, health care for vets who have been affected by burn pits and 9/11 first responders. That's not even factored into the polling. And by the way, they're going to come around and they're going to vote for...
I scared Andrea with the horn. I'm sorry, Andrea.
Oh, that's right. It can happen. In the last 3 quarters, including the final quarter of 2021, Democratic online fundraising outpaced GOP fundraising by $100 million. The sudden slowdown and widening gap has sent Republicans into a frenzy trying to figure out what's going on. Here it is. The fact that Trump is their biggest fundraising draw just doubles their pain because none of the money that he takes in goes to Republican candidates. Yep, that should be the wop wop, I think, probably.
Oh, you're right. I went for the Wilhelm.
Hold on, I'll try and cue you. Here you go. The fact that Trump is their biggest fundraising draw just doubles their pain because none of the money he takes in goes towards the GOP's candidates. In fact, it works better.
I didn't know I could truncate it.
Yeah, no, it actually works better when it's cut short because it's even sadder. In fact, one of the few candidates Trump tried to help out to the tune of some $500,000, former Senator David Perdue of Georgia, got clobbered in his gubernatorial bid against Brian Kemp. That was the biggest expenditure. That was the biggest Save America payout, was trying to attack Brian Kemp. Let me explain that to you. The maggots, listen to me. Due to spending money on candidates that are a 1-to-1 swap, bag of sand for the golden idol while the darts are a-flying. He's not...
Wait, this is primaries that he's wasting money on?
Yes. Well, he's not even spending it. And the only time he did is on people to attack Republicans. I have to tell you, I disagree with this tactically, but it ain't my party. I can't tell them how to live. And this is great for us. It's worth noting that high-dollar donors are lining the coffers of the Republican PACs. For instance, the GOP PAC Congressional Leadership Fund ended June with $130 million cash on hand, while the Democratic House Majority PAC just had $60 million on hand. But, again, it's almost evened out because, like I said, Trump is hoovering up all the small dollar and the big dollar donors, and it's not going anywhere. And they include him in he's the biggest PAC draw. And you know what he's using that money for? To keep the lights on at Mar-a-Lago.
Sexy.
One of the things was he got everybody to send him money because he's got to fight the Democrats who rigged the election and stole his life and blah, blah, blah. And now they're going after him for, Russia number 3 and hoax number 5 or whatever. I've lost track. And he's like, I need a battle fund or whatever to fight back, a legal defense fund to fight back against what the Democrats are trying to do to me. The RNC is paying his legal bills. He's just, that money that people sent in to help him fight the Democrats, he just spent it on himself. He just spent it on Bedminster. He just spent it on, I guess, getting the lawn mowed there before he buried his ex-wife yards away from the first hole at the golf course there. Which I have to say, sounds like a cross between something. It's the most John Wayne Gacy thing a president has ever done, but also it sounds like something you would joke about doing if you hated your ex.
Right. Yeah. Like, oh,
She was
yeah, I buried her
always
on the
on me
golf
about
course.
she was always on me about going to the golf course, so I'm going to bury her right next to the tee and stand on her every time I tee off. Like, it
Yeah, be
sounds
sure
like
to
that.
replace your divots.
Right. So gross. Just gross. But again, not my party, not my president, so I can't tell him how to live. But holy smokes, what are maggots thinking these days? And by the way, all the money he's hoovering up ain't going to DeSantis for his gubernatorial campaign. Ain't going to, Republican candidates. It's not going to J.D. Vance. It's not going to Herschel Walker. I know.
Did you hear Howard Stern eviscerate Herschel Walker?
No, I missed that.
It's impressive, and he did it by being like mega centrist. Like, all he had to do was just say, like, here's what Herschel Walker said, and here's what the truth is.
Right.
I don't understand how this happens.
Well, with Herschel Walker, sometimes you're like, here's what Herschel Walker said. I don't understand this. Like, that's enough. Sometimes, you have to lay the fact bare, like, see, this is why this contradicts reality. But
Yeah.
Herschel Walker is kind of like MTG in the way that, like, you don't have to counter her points. You just have to point to her points. And everybody, even the people who support her, like, scramble to try and pick up the, to toss the word salad.
Yeah.
And sorry. And anyways, I want to say that this is why, to all the maggots that listen to the show, and they do, and follow the show online and show up in the chat room, please set up a recurring donation at saveamerica.org or whatever it's called. Just go to donaldjtrump.com. It'll send you right to the link. And giving once is not enough. Do you even MAGA, bro? It's not enough. You what? Sorry?
I said, keep giving them your money.
That's right. That's right. Speaking of which, one of the ways you can support the show is there's a super chat. You can give stars on Facebook, and of course, you can become a Patreon supporter. Our Patreon people are the ones who make the show possible. They're our first wave of that help us get where we are today, where we actually have a functioning show. I'm gonna cry that it's working as well as it is. I know. I'm trying not to jinx it. I'm trying not to jinx it.
Like, I saw a TikTok the other day of an ambulance driver going, it's kind of quiet tonight.
Oh, no.
And everybody on the radio was like, no, I'm going to kill you.
Right. So the other story that we're going to get to, more in the next break is that this tape of Matt Gaetz. So, okay, again, this is as good a time as any to take a moment and experience gratitude. Just have a moment where you can be grateful. I know the world feels full of tumult and turmoil. I know that, there's a lot, there's wars and rumors of wars, that we're near rapture every day, it seems. But there are little silver linings, little moments where you can be happy. And one of the biggest things you can be happy about is that January 6th was carried out, implemented, designed, and directed by the biggest morons on the planet. If any of these people had two brain cells to rub together, America might not exist. But thank God they are the stupidest people to ever attempt anything remotely like this. And a great example is this story today. And anybody who has Twitter can listen to this, and it's on I want to say, who put the initial audio out? Washington Post. Washington Post got hold of this. Matt Gaetz talking to Roger Stone backstage at a MAGA event.
Before you kick into that,
yes,
Tony Macaroni,
yes, oh my
gave
gosh,
all kinds of, and okay, so I can only imagine those are North Korean dollars, which is wonderful.
No. Norwegian kronars.
And and Carol, really? That's not North Korean?
No, it is not. There is no
Okay.
North Korean currency.
Oh yeah, that makes
They
perfect sense.
pretend to have
So that's
one.
worthless. Thanks for nothing, Tony Macaroni.
No, that's
Your
thanks for
useless
something.
currency.
No, that's why it's useful. And by the way,
Oh,
and especially, we love the Norwegians because my stepmother is Norwegian, and she's why I can say grace in
jawohl.
Norwegian. Yeah. Jesu nam gevitel bord spiese dreke padatord. I can do it. Just invite me over for dinner and Tony, and I'll be glad to do it. So Matt Gaetz caught on tape talking to Roger Stone
Mm-mm.
about a possible pardon from Trump, where he refers to Trump. By the way, those of you that
Oh
love
yeah.
the illusion of the Hunter Biden laptop, reminder: there is no Hunter Biden laptop, doesn't exist. Come at me, bro. That Maxwell, thank you so much. And Mr.
Mr.
Monster,
Monster.
oh look at that. And appreciate it. He says, out of David Pakman, the Majority Report, and TYT, you seem to be the most positive and optimistic. Maybe things are really getting better, and we're just so used to negative politics happening. That's exactly it. Optimistic
Yep.
stoicism. That's what we preach here. And I'm still, so far I'm batting like 999. So we're doing all right. But check this out. So Matt Gaetz, oh bless you for that, Mr. Monster. I'm glad. So Matt Gaetz caught on tape promising Roger Stone a pardon from the boss before trial. He refers to him as the big guy, which is something
Ugh.
they were always arguing that, Joe Biden was the big guy in all the the alleged Hunter Biden emails.
Oh really?
Yeah. And so the fact that they're calling him the big guy a bunch just points to the fact that all the Hunter Biden emails are just Russian reworks of Trump emails that, from Don Jr. and Eric that were grabbed years ago, and they just changed the heading and who it was sent to. The names were changed to protect the guilty. According to a bombshell report from the Washington Post, Matt Gaetz was filmed promising Donald Trump advisor Roger Stone clemency from the big guy as he prepared to stand trial in 2019. In a video clip taken by a documentary filmmaker following Stone, and again, this is the funny part. This is the best part of this whole thing. There's a point in this tape where Matt Gaetz is hesitant to talk further about the possibility of a pardon because, and I quote, "Since there are many, many recording devices around right now, I do not feel in a position to speak freely about the work I've already done on that subject," Gaetz said. Yes, one of the many, many recording devices that were around was attached to Roger Stone's lapel. Roger Stone was wearing a microphone from the documentary crew that was following him around. And at no point did he go, "Oh crap, my lapel." At no point did you.
No,
did
he
you
was
hear
like, "Hey, I might get a pardon."
Right. Which, again, as Machiavellian as Roger Stone is supposed to be, the idea that he was maybe trying to get Matt Gaetz to get himself in trouble so he had some leverage on Gaetz, who maybe had more access to Trump than he did at the time, or the illusion of it, or maybe they still had the $25 million they didn't, pay to get Matt Gaetz out of his trouble his dad had. This is so great. So, like, I do feel like, since there are many, many recording devices around right now, and then you roll back to the story. In a video clip taken by a documentary filmmaker following Stone, Gaetz spoke with him in Florida after he complained the federal prosecutors were pressing him to turn on the now former president. According to the report and the recording from his jacket, at an event at Trump property that October, Rep. Matt Gaetz predicted that Stone would be found guilty at his trial in Washington the following month, but would not do a day in prison. The boss still has a very big favorable view of you, he said. He added, said it directly before claiming, "I don't think the big guy can let you go down for this." The big guy. The big guy. The big guy.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. All right. We got to take a break. We'll be back right after this. It's the House Sparks Radio program, mega worldwide on WCPT Radio, Chicago's Progressive Talk. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm keeping my mouth shut. We'll be back right after. Thank you guys for the support. Like and subscribe. If you're on Twitch, twitch.tv/HalSparks. Subscribe today.